everyone, and welcome to our very first Maveriqs Profile video interview. This piece of content is sponsored by iViz Media, a social media management and content creation company. And I'm here today with Danielle Blum, World Nativ CEO and founder. And World Nativ is a community of entrepreneurs that provides opportunities for collaboration and learning. Thanks for joining us, Danielle.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
So, how did you begin your entrepreneurial journey?
How did I begin? So it goes back really a few years ago when I graduated from the university and I decided to travel across the world. And I didn't know yet what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to see the world and get out of the structured lifestyle that I was in. Up until this point, I knew exactly how my life was going to look like. Everything was predictable. And I just craved to see what was happening outside of my bubble that I lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And I went across the world and ended up having this incredible, epic journey where I became an English teacher, and then ended up, I lived in Spain, and then I ended up living in Thailand, and then Cambodia, and just had all these really unique experiences meeting all of these interesting people with that had these different ideas about the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back and it just completely changed me, and I wasn't the same person anymore. And I just wanted to, I started developing these creative ideas. I was no longer used to the structure. I was really now more into this like flow state movement, and that's when I started getting all these ideas of wanting to bring people together and bring these ideas that I've learned through community and bring it all together. So about a few years ago I discovered entrepreneurship when I wanted to start learning about how to actually bring these ideas to life.
Right. And how did that, bringing those ideas to life, how did that change your life?
How did the ideas change my life? So I've always been really driven by this vision, and it's almost something that came to me, and I didn't force the idea to come to me. It came through just inspiration, and that idea has transformed my life because it's really pulled me to want to bring this new vision of what I want to see in the world, and it's helped me overcome challenges and any fear because I see the vision and the end goal. And so it's put me in the most interesting situations. I end up meeting all these unique people, and I'm really learning a ton, and it just changes you making that decision to bring this idea into a reality.
That's cool. So it's often said that if you're putting together a company or you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to look out and seek out a problem that needs to be solved, or a problem that people have that you can add value to. What problem is it that you're solving?
Yeah, so I've always been very aware of, like since I've been very young, is seeing other people's emotions and when people are feeling pain, or I've seen a lot of needs in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this came from my own personal needs, and really I'm my own target market here with what we're building with World Nativ. So the first need that I really wanted to tap into is this lack of community. So I came home excited, inspired by all these ideas of traveling around the world, and there was no one I could share these ideas with, and I wanted to bring these ideas to life, and I didn't know how to make it happen.
Right.
So with those two things of wanting to have people around me, the community piece, so seeing there was a lack of community of people that were inspired to bring visions to life, and then the second need is having these ideas, and when you're just starting out, you have no idea what you're doing, and this hunger to want knowledge and want to be around people that have paved the way before me, so I could learn from them and just take those steps. So yeah, so those are the two needs.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so basically you've created a platform for your own expression and then to help people out.
Yeah, so this platform is really to bring all these different ideas together, all these different people, and really find what it is that you want to bring into the world. What are you passionate about? What makes you feel alive?
Mm-hmm.
And then surround you by these people that are really behind you and supporting you on all levels. And so it's been so exciting for me because as I'm growing in this journey, not only do I get to grow my business, but I get to learn alongside these amazing people who are becoming my friends and lifelong business partners. And so it's been great for everybody.
So we talked a little bit about what World Native does with like the business accelerators and the mastermind groups. How do you come up with these unique experiences? Like, where does your inspiration come from? You talked about your travels. Does it stem from that? And like more recently, where do you get motivation and inspiration from?
Yes. So I believe that if you're having unique experiences and constantly going out of your comfort zone and you're willing to go try new things, this is where a lot of the inspiration comes from, when there's that spontaneity. And so a lot of these ideas have come because of the traveling or going to events and meeting people and having conversations that just lit something up for both of us. And so a lot of it will just come through, it's interesting, I'm getting more used to this process, but I'll get this movement of inspiration where my mind moves to the side and ideas will just come through because something will instigate that to move through. So whether I'll meet someone new and we have a conversation, it's just like, oh my God, we need to create this. Or within myself, I'm like, where most of this came from was, I wish this existed. I wish I had people that I could talk to. I wish I could have this, but how would I do it in a way that would be the most fun and most exciting and most adventurous, and also with the people that I want to be surrounded with the most. So those questions I ask myself and align that with the inspirational vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a lot of like experiential learning workshops or networking after work groups. What makes what you provide to the entrepreneur community unique?
Yeah, so in terms of the networking, what makes it unique?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I love adventure. I love that adrenaline where you're doing something new. And I would go to like networking events and I felt I wanted something more. I wanted a deeper way to connect with people. So we actually have created really fun ways through our collaborative masterminding and our networking. We've had like glow-in-the-dark night hike. We have a beach bonfire coming up on October 27th where we're bringing people together and going to have music. And so it's a unique way to meet people in an adventurous way.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit before, and we've talked about some of the experts in different areas, digital marketing, business growth, that you've brought into some of your events and some of the things that you put on. How do you yourself go about finding these people and connecting with them to bring them into World Native?
Yeah, so I'm naturally a connector and I love going out and meeting new people. So I go to a lot of events. I've also worked in the past in digital marketing companies. And I have a network of entrepreneurs that I've built because of this. And so usually I'll go find people that are really successful at what they're doing. And I have conversations with them and I just want to learn more from them. And I really want to make sure that they're actually doing what they're teaching. They're not just teaching something they've read about, but they're inspirational. And we have experts in business, but also experts in personal development. And this just all comes from me going out and exploring and going to events or going to workshops or personal development seminars and finding people that just, when I see them, it's like, wow, more people need to know about you. And so I bring them in and I bring the community to connect them together.
Right on. And so you said you're a natural like connector and you're good at networking with people. What about the people in our audience who maybe like have a little timidness or hesitation when they're trying to connect with somebody, but they know that meeting that person could be good for their company? What advice would you offer to them in order to like level up their networking skills?
Yeah, so in the way beginning, when I just started, I was terrified to send emails or go to business meetings because I was afraid no one would take me seriously. I didn't have all the business knowledge. I'm still growing with that in that area, but I was so scared to reach out to people. But again, if you have this, for me, I guess it was just the vision and strong desire to want to bring this into the world, I'd go out there and just ask anyways, even if my heart is beating, but just ask and share your vision, share your why. And I've seen that when you lead with that, it inspires people to want to be a part of it. And I just keep going. If they say no, then find someone else. Keep doing it. Yeah.
Right on. And what is it that keeps you driven and motivated? What makes you feel alive about being an entrepreneur?
Yes. So to me, it's not only about the business. I love the game of entrepreneurship that I'm learning, and it's definitely really challenging. But what I love about it is how it's teaching me about myself, and it's teaching me about life, and it's teaching me, it's like constantly pushing my comfort zones. And I actually in the past didn't like that and didn't feel comfortable, but actually enjoy now pushing those comfort zones and challenging myself, and I love learning, and I love, so.
And what results are you seeing when you kind of step out of the box and push beyond your comfort zone? What happens?
So, what happens when I push beyond my comfort zone? What I've learned is if something really lights me up and I know it's a yes and I want to make this happen, whether it's a new idea or a new partnership, and I know I want to do this, I say yes no matter what, and I go forward even if I have fear. And I still have fear all the time. I don't think that goes away. But I push past the fear, and it ends up expanding me and feeling like it opens me up even more and gives me more confidence in what I'm doing, to the point now where I actually like the challenges.
Right.
It's fun. When I see something like, oh, I'm being asked to speak or even be interviewed or something, that gives me like, oh gosh, I'm nervous to do this. But I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to do this because it scares the shit out of me. And I like that now.
That's great.
So it's fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
What would you say is your superpower?
So, my superpower... I'm curious what your superpower is too.
I'll let you know mine if you let me know yours.
So my superpower is, and I didn't realize these things until I started with my business and decided to take that step and just go forward with my visions. But I started seeing the skills that I have. I love connecting people. I find this person, and I think, how can I bring them together? I also can see potential in individuals, and I see their gifts, and I really believe in what they can create, and I just feel passionate about wanting to help them bring that to life. So connecting and really seeing people.
I think we have similar superpowers.
Yeah,
I was going to say collaboration for mine. Just working with a group of people and bringing them together to produce something more. That's my favorite thing to do.
Connecting.
So, kind of going back to what you do for World Native, I'm interested because you said you get all these ideas and you're motivated from, your travels and different people that you've worked with. When you have an idea, because having an idea is great, but it really takes implementation or execution to make it come to fruition. How do you go about executing on your ideas to actually make them something tangible that an entrepreneur can interact with?
Yeah, so in the beginning, again, I had no idea what I was doing, and I would have an idea and think, how the heck am I going to make this happen? So I tried to, in the beginning, start small in what I knew I could do. So I just put on one simple event, and I was scared to do that, and I made a couple mistakes, but I just was like, okay, I know I can do this. And the biggest thing that you can do is have your vision, but you have to just take action on it, even though you're going to make mistakes and you're going to stumble. I do it anyways, and I do a lot of self-education. I'm constantly reading, I'm learning about business, I'm learning about marketing, I'm talking with experts. If I want to create something, I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I look for someone who's done it before and who's been successful, and I see if I can model them.
Right.
I think that's probably one of the biggest ones, is model someone who's done it before you. So if you can't figure out how to do it, that's the best way to do it.
Great. And what is the best piece of advice that you've received upon your journey in entrepreneurship?
Well, the biggest piece of advice that I received was from my older brother, who I've been very fortunate is a very successful entrepreneur. So I've been very lucky that from the beginning he's been there to guide me. And the one piece of advice he gave me was, go learn from people who are successful.
Okay. And
absorb their knowledge and take that knowledge and then take action and implement it. So go learn from people that are doing it. So that I took that and I really just ran with that and went and found people who, like I said, with what we're creating, who are actually doing what they're teaching, and built a business around just learning. So yeah.
Great. So, find a mentor, find somebody who's successful in your sector and learn from them.
Yes.
Awesome.
Learn from these people. And then the piece of advice I would also give is be around people who motivate you. because
I think that's huge.
there are things, I mean, it gets really challenging and sometimes you don't know what you're doing. And I've seen in our community when people are feeling down to have that person next to you who is feeling inspired to keep you going. The community piece is so important.
Awesome.
To have that.
And you're building that with World Native.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So all you entrepreneurs out there, check out World Native. You talked about challenges and sometimes being down, and I think we've all faced that as entrepreneurs. Trying to build a business, you run up against obstacles. How do you overcome obstacles when when they come your way?
So I actually have this strange analogy, and this is probably more women could relate to this, but I see for me that having this business is kind of like having a baby. So the baby's going to cry and you're going to have to wake up in the middle of the night and you have to change the diapers and do all these things, but you don't think or question about the baby. You do it anyways because you love the baby.
Right.
And so I've realized that about my business is I love it. I'm so passionate about it. So I go through a lot of crappy times, but I'm just inspired by what comes through me and what I'm seeing unfolding with moving this into action. So your question, sorry to make sure I answered that, was how do I overcome these obstacles?
Sure, yeah.
So being really connected to what you're creating and having that be really connected to your why, because when you're going to go through challenges, you want to make sure you really love what you're doing, and that's made me really driven. Shifting your mindset that obstacles, I've read this, see them as opportunities. So every time you hit a block, it's not a failure, but see it as, instead of thinking, oh shit, I can't do this, think, how can I do this? So phrase every challenge that you have into a question and start getting your mind to become solution oriented, because most people will hit their obstacle, or they fail one time and they may not try it again.
Right.
But I think that if you just keep asking that question, how can I do this? So now it's never a question of, when I see an obstacle, it's like, I can't. It's just a matter of how and when it's going to happen.
Excellent.
So reshifting your mindset to solution-oriented and questioning it is going to help.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that advice personally.
Yes. That's a good one.
So there's a couple more questions for you. When you're looking to learn more, and perhaps you don't have the ability to, call somebody or connect with somebody, do you read books? Do you watch videos? Where do you self-educate? How do you self-educate?
So I'm really lucky with the network that I've built, in that my business partners are really high-level entrepreneurs or digital marketers. So I reach out to my partners and the people that are actually training individuals in our community, so I get that attention. And also, I'm always listening to podcasts, I'm listening to YouTube videos. I love Tony Robbins, Marie Forleo. I listen to people that I really look up to, and I'm just constantly listening or reading their books.
Gotcha.
Yeah, always learning.
I should go to a World Native event if what?
I should go to a World Native event if I have this vision that I want to bring to life and I want support on that vision. And I should come if I want to be surrounded by this epic community of people in a fun, adventurous type of way, and I want to explore myself and explore the world and meet just amazing people.
Awesome.
And yeah, you're going to have fun. So.
And where can we find and follow yourself in World Native? If you want to tell
so if you want to connect with us for World Native right now, find us on Facebook. It's @World Native, and that's spelled Nativ. So there's no E on World Native, so just type in World Native, and then it's www.worldnative.com.
Excellent.
Yes.
Cool.
And we're on Instagram, World Native.
I want to say thank you again for being our very first Maveriqs Profile video interview. Everybody look out for World Native. Great events. I've been to a couple of them. They're fantastic. We actually met at one of her events, and keep an eye out. And thanks again to iViz Media for sponsoring this content. We appreciate everything you guys do.
Yes.
Peace.